UFC 318 is on our doorsteps, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys my full card predictions and breakdown for every single fight on this. Listen, I know I've said this before, but I really mean it this time. This is the worst pay-per-view I've ever seen. We got the number 4 and number 5 ranked contenders fighting in the pay-per-view main event. We have Paulo Costa in the co-main event. And we got Michael Johnson on the main card, all right? We need to lock in here, UFC. Stop promoting boxing, Dana White. Lock in and make some good pay-per-views, all right? Either way, good or bad, great or shit, I'm going to be bringing you guys my full card predictions and breakdown for every single fight on this just amazing pay-per-view card. And without further ado, subscribe to my channel, like the video if you like the video, and let's get into it. Kicking off this card, we have Jackson McVey taking on Bruno Ferreira, and this one is a very sad one because Jackson McVey did a Trump impression, very fine, one of a kind, and he did do one, and he did it in the LFA. He went like pretty viral on Instagram for it and stuff. He's 6-0 in MMA, 0-0 in the UFC, but he has a 6-0 MMA record. I talked about him a couple videos back. He was supposed to fight on the last pay-per-view, and, you know, he's looked very impressive on the regional scene. Unfortunately, he's got to fight Bruno Ferreira in his debut. All right, Bruno Ferreira is an absolute killer. We already know this. He chinned Gregor Rodriguez out cold. He's coming off of a win over Abu Magomedov, I'm pretty sure. Abu is his last win, but he has been fighting a lot recently, so who even knows how active he is or isn't, but I think he's going to absolutely handle Jackson McVey. Although he is very big for middleweight, he has a super long reach, and Ferreira is very short for middleweight. I'm pretty sure Ferreira is like 5'9", and Jackson McVey is 6'4", so that is going to be a huge height difference in that category, but besides that, I don't really think Jackson McVey has much going for him here. Bruno Ferreira, we already know he has insane knockout power. And, you know, although his cardio is not the best and his grappling is pretty unproven, I do think that his power will be enough to carry him to a first-round knockout win over Jackson McVey. Moving up the card, we have the battle of maybe the worst heavyweights on the roster, maybe even the worst fighters on the roster. We got Ryan Spann taking on Lucas Berski. What even is this fight, dude? This is literally the bottom 2 heavyweights on the roster, I think. Ryan Spann got chinned out cold by Waldo Cortez Acosta. He was throwing like, dude, Costa rocked him, and then he threw like a spinning wheel kick, missed when he was rocked, spun all over the place, got dizzy as shit, fell over, got knocked out cold. Listen, dude. Ryan Spann, I need an IQ test on Ryan Spann. I need an IQ test on Ryan Spann. This dude's a retard. I don't know if I could say that word. I don't even know if I could say that word, but this dude is not smart, dude. He's gonna lose to Lucas Berski. Lucas Berski actually beat Walter Walker. So, listen, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna keep my mouth absolutely shut. All right, Lucas Berski, man. He beat Walter Walker, man. He didn't get heel hooked by Walter Walker, man. But listen, Lucas Berski doesn't even. I don't even know what this guy even does besides get chinned. I don't even know what he does. He just gets chinned. Ryan Spann has some sort of athletic ability, and he poses some sort of danger on the feet, and he has some sort of power, and he did fluke a KO over Reyes, and it's like, dude, maybe he'll be able to get it done. Lucas Berski has literally shown me nothing besides I can get chinned out cold. So, yeah, I'm going to take Ryan Spann by KO. Moving up the card, we have Marcy and Praau taking on Jimmy Croo. This is another fight where it's like super low-level, low-ranked fighters. Super low-ranked fighters. Jimmy Croo can't get a win to save his life. I'm pretty sure he went to like 2 draws. I'm pretty sure he went to a draw with Rodolfo Bellato and Alonzo Menefield. And he like... What did he even do? I think he lost to Menefield. He lost to Anthony Smith. He went to a draw with Menefield, went to a draw with Rodolfo Bellato. I'm not really sure what other fights he's had. But this guy, Jimmy Croo, did. Oh, yeah, he got knocked out by Jamal Hill. I think did he get subbed by Paul Craig or no? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I'm not too sure. But Maybe he beat Paul Craig. But listen, dude, Jimmy Croo cannot get a win to save his life. He actually has looked pretty okay in his fights, but then like against Anthony Smith, he had the bullshit with the perennial nerve. Against Menefield and Bellato, he went to a draw. I mean, he's having close fights, he's having good fights, but he has not got the job done. But he is going to be facing Marcin Prachnio. Marcin Prachnio has been a win one, lose one, iffy kind of fighter for his whole career, but he's 39 years old, and he's coming off of a brutal war with Modestas Bukauskas. So, I do not think he wins. I do not think Marcin Prachnio wins. I think that he's going to look very, very old in this fight. I think it's going to show that he's aged. I think it's going to really, really show in this fight. And I think that he's going to lose to Jimmy Croo pretty convincingly. Jimmy Croo is very, very good on the ground. Marcin Prachnio has struggled there heavily. Fighters are usually able to take him down pretty easily. And he usually does not show much fight on the ground. He usually like immediately quits whenever he gets put on the ground. And I feel like Jimmy Croo's going to sub him and choke him out in like round 1 or round 2. So that's what I'm going to go with. Give me Jimmy Croo by round 2 rear naked choke. Moving up the card, we have Islam Dulatov taking on Adam Fugit. Adam Fugit has got a real funny name and a not very good record in the UFC. All right, he's actually not that bad. He's like 2-2 or 3-2 or something. Listen, every single time I watch Adam Fugit fight, I sit and I look at my screen and I think, what does this guy actually do? Right? He just dances and prances around at range and like shadow boxes with his opponent and then goes to a split decision. And sometimes he'll win. And then sometimes he won't. That's the best I could explain. That's literally the best I could explain an Adam Fugit fight. I have no idea what even happens in it, and I watch him. And I still don't know. I watch the fight, and I'm like, I don't even know what just happened right there. You know? It's like, who's a good example of Adam Fugit? Like, Miles Johns. Miles Johns. He fights like Miles Johns. He fights like Max Griffin. He fights like Michael Chiesa. He fights like Court McGee, except for better than Court McGee. All right, Court McGee. I genuinely don't even know what Court McGee does. I don't know what Adam Fugit does. I really do not know what Court McGee does. Like, I don't even know how he got here. I don't even know how this guy's in the UFC. I feel like he got signed at 41. Like, who even is this guy, Court McGee? Dude, get him out of here. Right? Get this guy, Court McGee, out of here. Why are we even talking about Court McGee? Listen. Islam Dulatov looked amazing on the Contender Series, and he's a model, right? Being a model does give you points, right? Maybe, you know? No, it doesn't. All right, the only thing I know about Islam Dulatov is he's super long, super rangy, has some great power, and got a nasty KO on the Contender Series. Besides that, he's a minus 650 favorite. We don't know too much about him yet, but I think that he's going to chin Adam Fugit out cold very, very quickly. Adam Fugit does not really pose much aggression in his fights. He doesn't really impose his will too well in his fights, and I think that he's going to kind of let Islam Dulatov have his way early and then find the knockout at the end of round 1. So give me Islam Dulatov by a second round KO, or maybe first round KO. We'll see. Moving up the card, we got a Teba Gautier taking on Robert Valentine, and listen, what are these odds, dude? Minus 575 for a Teba Gautier. A Teba Gautier fought Jose Daniel Medina. Seriously, one of the worst fighters on the UFC roster. He does nothing but stand there like a fat, tubby Mexican and take shots. All right? That's the only thing this guy, Jose Medina, can do. And Teba Gautier is going to be fighting Robert Valentine. And I remember watching Robert Valentine on Tough, and he was doing a bunch of cool stuff, doing a bunch of spinning stuff, a bunch of big crazy shots, shooting a bunch of different types of takedowns as well. And then he made his debut against Therese Finney. And Therese Finney just literally held him up against the fence for 3 rounds. Like, more egregiously than any other fighter I could ever say. It was the most egregious stalling I've ever seen in a fight. Robert Valentine had no chance to get going at all. And still almost won as well, which is insane. Listen, dude. Robert Valentine is getting so underrated in this fight. I don't think he wins, dude, but I think it's going to be close. I don't think he wins, but I think it's going to be close. I'm going to go with the Teba Gautier by a first-round KO. But listen, dude, this fight's going to be a war early. Robert Valentine's going to put it on him early. I actually don't think it'll get knocked out in the first round. I think he's going to go to a decision. I think a Teba Gautier is going to put the pressure on him early in rounds 1, maybe win round 2. But in round 3, Robert Valentine's going to put it on him. You guys are going to see. Still, give me a Teba Gautier by unanimous decision, but watch out for Robert Valentine because he's going to have a pretty impressive performance either way. Moving up the card, we have Nikolai Veritendov taking on Francisco Praau. And listen, dude, Veritendov, it's another one of these fighters where it's like, how are you even in the UFC? How are you even in the UFC? He got schooled by Danny Barlow. He got destroyed by Austin Vanderford so bad. He's a huge underdog here against Francisco Praau. Francisco Praau, although he doesn't really do much in his fights, he doesn't really do much. He kind of just gets beat up. Jake Matthews beat him up. Daniel Zellhuber beat him up. But listen, dude. What's his name? Francisco Praau. He's very, very, very tough. He could take some hard damage. He's always going to be walking forward. I don't think Veritendov is going to have any answer for him. In both of Veritendov's fights, he's been badly out-grappled. So I don't think he's going to be grappling too much. He has not really shown to have that much power in his hands. And he's been shown that he can get hit and he will break. And I think that he's going to get broken. He's going to get absolutely broken by Francisco Praau. I think that Francisco Praau is going to put it on him early, eat whatever shots he has to take, work his low kick. He does have a really, really good calf kick. He throws it a lot. He throws it well. I think that he's going to win the fight. I'm going to take Francisco Praau by a unanimous decision. I think that he's going to be walking down Veritendov early, and then in rounds 2 and rounds 3, he's really going to take over and win the fight. Moving up the card, we have Brendan Allen taking on Marvin Vettori, and honestly, I don't even know how this fight is on the prelims. I kind of feel like this is probably the second best fight on the card. I feel like this should probably be the co-main event over stupid-ass Paulo Costa. Get him out of the main event. All right, get Paulo Costa out of the, or not out of the main event, out of the co-main event. Get him off the main card, dude. He should be on the prelims of an Apex card, all right? I don't want to see Paulo Costa ever again after he gets beat by Roman Kopylov. Spoilers on my pick. I'm picking Kopylov by KO, all right? But moving on to the actual fight that we're talking about, Brendan Allen versus Marvin Vettori, another very, very easy fight for me to pick. Another one of these guys where it makes you think, what does Marvin Vettori actually do? What does Marvin Vettori actually pose as a threat on the feet, on the ground, anywhere? Does Marvin Vettori pose a threat? No. Having an amazing chin does not pose a threat to anyone, all right? If you can't show anything with it or do anything with it, it doesn't even matter. And Brendan Allen has no power anyway, so it doesn't even matter either there. Dude, Brendan Allen literally has no pop, so he even cares about that. All right, Brendan Allen, though, he is an amazing grappler. He's shown it a bunch. He's going to out-grapple Marvin Vettori easily. He's going to beat him by a 29-28 decision. We know how this goes with Brendan Allen, dude. It's going to happen again. Yeah! Let's go, Brendan Allen! I'm so excited for Brendan Allen. Give me Brendan Allen by decision. For the final fight on the prelims, we got Venicius Olivera taking on Kyler Phillips. And this right here is definitely the most underrated fight of the card. This is the prospects fight, if that makes any sense. Listen, Kyler Phillips, although he got schooled by he got schooled by Rob Font. Getting schooled by any guy out of the New England cartel is not good, dude. Absolutely not good, dude. Rob Font is so overrated. He robbed Gene Matsumoto. No, he didn't. He did not. I know he didn't. I know he did not rob Gene Matsumoto. I understand that he won the fight, but this dude is so overrated, dude. Oh, dude. Rob Font is so overrated, bro. I can't even believe this, dude. How is this guy even in the top 8 or top 10 or wherever he's at, dude? Whatever ranking spot Rob Font is at, move him down a few. Okay? Move him down a few, wherever he is. All right? But Moving on to the fight, Venicius Olivera, he has a bunch of amazing unranked wins, beat Ricky Simone dominantly, beat Said Nurmagomedov clearly in an amazing fight, and now he's going to be fighting Phillips, who never even had that many good ranked wins before, and then got beat up badly by Rob Font. Listen, dude, there is not one sign that points in the direction of Phillips in this fight. I'm taking Venicius Olivera in all ways of the game. I just don't even think that there's a way for Phillips to win. I think that this fight's going to be very, very hard for him. Prayers up for Phillips, man, because I think he's going to have a tough night at the office on Saturday. I think Venicius Olivera will school him and beat him by a 30-27 decision, maybe even a third-round TKO. Kicking off this pay-per-view, we got Michael Johnson. Paying $80 for Michael Johnson. You really think I'm going to be paying $80 for Michael Johnson? All right. Taking on Daniel Zellhuber. And listen, Daniel Zellhuber is like minus 650 in this fight, and I cannot even believe that. All right. Daniel Zellhuber just lost to Esteban Ribovic. Even though that fight was amazing, it was a war, he had a great chin on him. Minus 650 is absolutely insane. This guy Zellhuber has really not done anything in the sport yet, and although I do think that he's very good and he's a pretty promising prospect, he did get beat and outstruck, and he just got beat everywhere by Esteban Ribovic. The fight was close and he was landing shots and doing whatever, but it was not a great look losing there. And Michael Johnson is on a 2-fight win streak, coming off of a nasty flatline KO over Abu Azaitar. And listen, all right, Michael Johnson, it's one of the worst stylistic matchups for Michael Johnson. First of all, he's on a 2-fight win streak. This dude cannot get past a 2-fight win streak. Michael Johnson is the win one, lose one staple of the UFC. We already know this. So I don't even think he can have a 3-fight win streak. And second of all, Michael Johnson, usually his way of winning is by brutal KO. And Daniel Zellhuber has an amazing chin on him. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He's taken a bunch of insane shots throughout his UFC career. And I just don't think that Michael Johnson's going to find a way to win this fight. I'm going to take Daniel Zellhuber by a 30-27 decision. I think he kind of just plays with Michael Johnson at range and picks him apart with a bunch of kicks, long, rangy, straight punches. And yeah, give me Daniel Zellhuber. Moving up the card, we got Dan Ige. Yeah, 50K. 50K Ige! And he's going to be taking on Patricio Pitbull. Yeah, Pitbull. Pitbull gets him with the paw. Gets him with the paw. This is Pitbull right here. Gets him with the paw. Lines up the paw with another paw. That's all Pitbull does. All right, you ever see Patricio Pitbull fight? I've literally never seen this guy do anything on the feet ever. He stands at range like this. He does his little Cejudo. And that's it, dude. That's literally it, dude. He flicks around at range, shoots a bunch of takedowns, gets them in Bellator, doesn't get them when he's in the UFC, and sometimes he'll win the fight. All right, Patricio Pitbull is very, very old. He's like 39, 38. At what is this, featherweight? I was about to say bantamweight. At featherweight, 38, 39 at featherweight. That is very, very old. He's going to be taking on Dan Ige. Dan Ige is a gatekeeper, we know this, but listen, he's ranked like right around number 15 right now, I think. He's coming off of an early stoppage knockout win against Sean Woodson, which was a good win, although it was stopped early. I still think he would have finished the job either way. He rocked him terribly. Every judge had him up 2-0 going into the third as well. It was a very good performance from Dan Ige. Now he's going to be taking on Patricio Pitbull, and dudes that are not ranked level will lose to Patricio Pitbull, or not to Patricio Pitbull, to Dan Ige. And I do not think Patricio Pitbull is top 15 level. I think Patricio Pitbull is a very good unranked guy. I think he can compete with a lot of people at the top, but he did get dropped by Yair with punches. Yair does not really drop people with punches very often. You got to be pretty not great on the feet to let that happen to you, and your chin's got to be pretty faded away to let that happen to you. I think Dan Ige chins Pitbull out cold. Not out cold, actually. I think it'll be a TKO, but I do think that Pitbull is going to get chinned. He's getting chinned out here. Pitbull, he gets hit in all of his fights. He got dropped by Yair pretty badly in his last fight, and now he's going to be taking on Dan Ige. Dan Ige is riding the momentum of a knockout win over Sean Woodson, who he was a huge underdog against, and now he's going to take that into this fight with Patricio Pitbull. I think it's going to be hard to beat Dan Ige in this one, so give me the dynamite, Dan Ige, for the round 1 KO. On to the feature fight, we got Kevin Holland taking on Daniel Rodriguez, and I absolutely love D-Rod, man. I love D-Rod, dude. D-Rod's got a real special place in my heart. He's one of the guys, one of the first UFC fighters I actually really started becoming a huge fan of and really lasered in on their career and genuinely became a huge fan of them. I do not know why. I honestly don't even know why I like Daniel Rodriguez so much, but I do. All right, I really, really do. But I don't think he beats Kevin Holland. Although I think that he will have moments against Kevin Holland. A lot of people are writing off Daniel Rodriguez really, really bad, just talking about how it's another win for Kevin Holland's streak, and they just want to pad his record. But dude, D-Rod is good, and he just knocked out Ponzinibbio with an amazing, brutal 5-punch combination, knocked him out badly, knocked him out brutally, and now that Daniel Rodriguez has started to develop this punch power a lot more, you know what I'm saying? He's been rocking people a lot recently in his recent fights, and although Daniel Rodriguez did go on a little bit of a skid, he's back now. He's absolutely back now, and I think that he's back and better, and he's going to knock out Kevin Holland. No, he's not. Although Kevin Holland doesn't care, and doesn't try, because I don't want to be a champion, right? Or whatever Kevin Holland says. Yeah, Kevin Holland just doesn't want to be champ, dude. You think he wants all the extra media? I don't want to be champ, all right? But listen, dude, Kevin Holland is just, I don't know, man. He's just better everywhere than Daniel Rodriguez. This is pretty self-explanatory here. It's hard for me to pick against D-Rod. But I'm going to be picking against D-Rod. I'm taking Kevin Holland by TKO. TKO in round 1. All right? I think this fight will be very action-packed early. I think they'll be swinging a lot on the feet. But unless Daniel Rodriguez can mix the grappling up, which I don't think he does, he's going to get knocked out. I think he gets knocked out quick. So give me Kevin Holland by a round 1 TKO. On to the co-main event. The co-main event of this pay-per-view is Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. The co-main event of this pay-per-view is Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. What are we doing? Paulo Costa is not even a main card level fighter on an Apex Fight Night. All right? Get him off the pay-per-view. Get him off the pay-per-view. All right? Get him off the pay-per-view. All right? Get my pay-per-view. I don't need him on my pay-per-view. All right? Paulo Costa, Paulo Costa is an example of a guy who actually doesn't try or doesn't care. Genuinely does not try, does not care. Dude's got excuses for everything. Lost the title. He lost to Izzy because he drank wine the night before. Got robbed by Strickland, whatever they say, all right. But he actually did have a pretty close fight with Sean Strickland. And I know that Sean Strickland did not look very good and barely even threw in that fight. But Costa did not look that bad. He really did not. And Paulo Costa's losses are to good fighters, man. Robert Whittaker, Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya. They're good fighters that he's losing to, but it's hard for me to pick him at all in this fight, man. I just think he gets pieced up at range and beat in every single round, and I think that Roman Kopylov is just going to pick him apart. Maybe grapple if he wants to, maybe brawl if he wants to, maybe pick him apart at range if he wants to. I just think that Roman Kopylov is going to have his day and have his way with Paulo Costa. I'm done believing in Paulo Costa. I'm done picking Paulo Costa. I'm done betting on Paulo Costa. I'm going to be taking Roman Kopylov by a 30-27 decision, and hopefully Paulo Costa gets on to the PFL after this one, all right? And now the main event of the evening, really the only fight that's actually worth the money that we're spending for this stupid pay-per-view. We got Ilia Topuria, we literally do, I'm not restarting this. I'm just not going to restart this. We have Dustin Poirier taking on Max Holloway for the BMF belt. The number 4 and number 5 ranked contenders are going to be headlining a pay-per-view. And one of them's retiring either way, win or lose. All right? Hey, dude, this is the last dance, dude. Hey, dude. Everybody gets a bottle. Hot sauce. Everybody gets a bottle. All right? Max Holloway's going to knock him out. I've done a lot of thinking for this fight, and, you know, every time I think, my prediction of Dustin Poirier winning gets further and further away. Listen, Max Holloway is coming off of obviously a TKO loss to Ilia Topuria, which, first of all, Holloway ate some bombs off of Ilia Topuria. Holloway ate some serious bombs off of Ilia Topuria. So his chin is absolutely there, I think. I think his chin's still going to be there. I think it still will be. Ilia Topuria knocked him out, but dude, Holloway was hanging in there, man. And he was up 2-0. Got knocked out in the third. He looked good, man. Holloway looked very, very good in that fight. He just looked like that was the best I've ever seen Holloway look in that Ilia Topuria fight. I know that he got KO'd, but that was the best I've ever seen Max Holloway look. And then before that, he destroyed Justin Gaethje, knocked him out bad. Before that, knocked the Korean zombie out cold. Before that, destroyed Arnold Allen, pieced him up, dropped him in the fifth, beat him by a 4-1 decision. Holloway is on a roll outside of this Ilia Topuria loss. And he's only 33 years old, so I don't think he's going to look that aged or that washed in this fight against Dustin Poirier. And on the other hand, we got Dustin Poirier, who's coming off of a submission loss where he went to sleep against Islam Makhachev, took a bunch of damage in that fight, broke his nose, tore his knee. He has a fake hip. He hasn't fought since last June. He's 38 years old. Dustin Poirier, man. I don't think he wins. I think he's going to look very, very old. I think he's going to look very, very washed in this fight. It sucks to say. Dustin, dude. Hey, dude. It's my retirement fight, dude. It's my retirement fight, dude. I'm out here in Louisiana now, dude. But I don't think he's going to win. Unfortunately, I'm going to be picking Max Holloway by a 4th round TKO. I think he's going to have a lot of volume early on Dustin Poirier. I don't think he's going to let Dustin get going, and I think that he's going to put the pressure on him and knock him out in round 4. I'm so excited for this card. No, I'm actually not. Subscribe to this channel if you want to. Like the video if you like the video. You know, subscribe to my channel, and who's with me?